not LS swap your Land Cruiser. Unless you want to have a lot more fun with your Land Cruiser and make sounds like this. Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name is Tyler. I like building cool stuff, and this is my 1983 Toyota FJ60. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I stuffed an LS in this thing. This is episode 2 of the FJ60 rebuild. I bought this Land Cruiser is an absolute piece. It looked like this, and it took a ton of work, time, hours, sweat, tears to make it look this cool. My first episode, I show you exactly how I stitch welded 2 Land Cruisers to make this one. But today we're talking about my favorite mod, the LS. People are always asking me, Tyler, why didn't you keep it original? Hey, you ruined it. You put a GM engine in a classic Land Cruiser. You can't do that. You should have done a better swap. You should have done a diesel swap. You should have put a 4.7 V8 in it. Yeah, sure, all those things would have been cool, but there isn't a ton of support out there for them when it comes to all the parts and pieces and YouTube videos needed to do the LS swap. So for me, I decided an LS was the best option, and it makes a lot of sense, especially because it sounds like this, which is a pretty good reason to do it. And it also is not the worst thing in the world to do. I mean, I had 0 experience when I did it, and I was able to do it. Obviously, it took me about 10 times longer than it should have, and 20 times longer than a professional would have taken, but I learned a ton about it. I'm glad I did it. I drive this thing every day, and it's too much fun with the LS in it. All right, now for why you clicked on the video. How exactly did I do it? Well, I'm gonna kind of briefly go through each of the things that I did to it. I will up front tell you, it cost me about $10,000 all said and done. I had some hiccups along the way that cost me a little more. Probably could have done it cheaper, but if you're looking to LS swap your Land Cruiser, and if you're doing all the work yourself, you should probably allocate about $10,000 if you want to do it, and do it right-ish, because obviously I cut some corners and did some things that were maybe questionable, but it works good, it's reliable, and it's pretty sweet. So to get things started, obviously I ripped the 2F out. That was the easiest step of the whole process. It was very easy, you know, you unhook a few things, you cut some wires, nothing really matters because you're not putting it back. So once I got that out, I cut out the motor mounts, ground everything down, got it all ready. And fortunately, with these FJ60s, the engine bay is so big, you can put the LS in no problem, and you got a little wiggle room. So once I got the 2F out and I got the motor mounts out, I decided to weld in the motor mounts and get everything situated as should be. I went ahead and went with the Cruiser Matte motor mounts. They made it super easy. They were a little more expensive, but they were the right tool for the job. And they gave me all the directions I needed and got the engine situated just as it should be. So once I got the motor mounts in, it was time to put the LS in. A little bit more about the LS. I sourced this thing from eBay. I think I paid about $3,500 for it. I do have another video on the channel talking about exactly how much everything costs to do the LS swap, line by line, so check out that if you want to get a little more detail on this. But like I said, today we're just doing a high level overview. So once I got the LS from eBay, it was a little bit beat up. It didn't look great. I think it had about 130,000 miles on it. It ended up being that the transmission ended up being bad. I did make a big mistake in not getting the torque converter seated correctly and ended up blowing up the pump that's in the transmission. So that was pretty unfortunate, but you live and learn. But so far the LS has been great. Sourcing it off eBay, you could probably get something cheaper out of a junkyard or something like that, but I didn't feel like pulling it myself and I didn't know what I was doing, so I decided to go with the eBay option. There was a warranty. Warranty was good for nothing because it took me like a year to get this done, so that was pretty much worthless, but it worked out anyways. So once I got the motor mounts mounted, it was time to just go ahead and throw the LS in. So we went ahead, got it all situated correctly, got it all bolted in. This uses the original GM motor mounts that are on the block itself. I then had to build a new cross member because everything shifts. You can't use the original mounting for the FJ60 transfer case and all those different things. So I went ahead and just fabbed up something myself, pretty inexpensive. Not the prettiest thing in the world because I built it, but it works perfectly. I may clean it up down the road, build something different, but so far it's worked pretty good for me. So once I got everything in, got the transmission where it needed to be, obviously when I put it in, I had the advanced adapter with the FJ60 transfer case on it. So you have to use a 2-wheel drive 4L60E transmission so you can use the original FJ60 transfer case. And that was a little bit confusing. Advanced Adapters has great instructions on that. I was a little bit worried about it, a little bit hesitant when I went ahead and did it because you have to cut the output shaft to do it, but it's actually pretty easy. Once you get the advanced adapter on, you just have to build the FJ60 transfer case on the back of it. Another thing that I thought was going to be an absolute nightmare that ended up being pretty easy, and there was YouTube videos out there to show me how to do it. So even dummies like me can figure it out. So that wasn't the worst thing in the world. So once I got everything in, obviously you have to get different drive shafts made to adjust for the lengths because everything is shifted around. Then it was time to go ahead and start wiring everything in. So I decided to go with the Holley Terminator X Max. The reason why I did that was because I didn't know what I was doing, and I know and I've read that the Holley system is the easiest one to use and there's support out there. And it ended up being a pretty good thing that they did have the support, because I had a few stupid questions for them that they were able to answer easily, and they probably saved me at least a week of work and probably some money along the way as well. So the wiring itself was pretty easy. It wasn't very complicated. There's not as many wires going to it as you would think. Mostly everything, you plug everything into sensors. You had to add a couple of extra sensors. I had to add a fuel pressure sensor, a few different things like that, but all in all, it's probably a lot easier than you or I would have thought originally. Then I was actually able to use the original aluminum radiator that was in this thing. It's a Champion's radiator, and it was pretty easy. I went to the junkyard, got some rubber hosing to plumb everything in. I've got 6 AN transmission lines running from the transmission to, I have an external transmission cooler. Everything works good there. It stays cool. I did end up having the transmission rebuilt because it was bad, and I did make that mistake, and I figured it made a lot of sense just to have it rebuilt while I was in there, and I didn't have to pull it again, even though I did have to pull it 3 separate times. Once I got everything going, I did build the whole exhaust. I did all that work myself. It's kind of fun if you like to weld and do things like that. I enjoyed building the exhaust. It was a little bit frustrating at times, but I enjoyed it, and you can kind of build it and make it sound exactly how you want, which you heard in the beginning of the video. I'd like to say sounds pretty good. It's not too obnoxious. It's just right. People know it's not a 2F, but they know it's not some hillbilly with his LS swap Land Cruiser straight piped out the back. After the LS was in and it was all plumbed and the exhaust was done, it fired right up. I did have some issues. I did end up having to take it into a shop. They found that it had bad injectors. So all in all, I mean, the junkyard, well, not junkyard, eBay LS was maybe not the best avenue to go, but I learned a lot in the process. And I think it's an okay way to go, because more often than not, you're gonna get an okay one, unless you're pretty savvy and you can pick up a good one at the junkyard, or no, you might have issues down the road. But so far I have about 1,000, maybe 1,500 miles on this LS swap, daily driving the thing, and it's been nothing but awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in and take you for a ride and just kind of let you know how it drives, how it feels, and let you know if I think it was totally worth it. All right, we'll go ahead and fire it up. It does have kind of a noisy fuel pump, so if you can hear that now, and you'll probably be able to hear it as we drive it, but that's how you know it's working. So it fires right up, sounds pretty good, idles real nicely. All right, forgive me for all the cuts in this video. I really also don't know what I'm doing when it comes to filming a video, but a lot of people have been asking more about the LS, so I figured a quick video would be good. So we'll take it for a little spin. I'll just kind of talk as we drive it around. I would definitely say this is definitely worth the investment. Obviously, it's a pretty expensive thing to do. But for $10,000, and to get the gains that I got from this LS, if you were to do that with a different engine swap or rebuilding a 2F, obviously I knew mine was super tired and wasn't running good, and it probably would have ran a lot better, but I like to drive this thing every day. And I also have a 1983 ski boat, Mastercraft, that I pull with this thing, which looks sweet. And the LS made that possible, and without having the LS, it wouldn't have been able to be done, and I wouldn't have been able to use it like I wanted to use it. So right here, I'll kind of get on it, and so that was just from a dig to 45 miles an hour, which I mean, I was half throttle maybe, and it, you know, got loose a little bit, which is pretty cool in a Land Cruiser, dare I say. And you're not going to get that with a 2F, which, whatever. I know it's a great engine, but you're not going to get me off of the LS is awesome opinion. So yeah, we'll just kind of cruise around. You can hear it. I mean, it sounds good. I don't know how well you can pick that up on the microphone, but driving it around town, it's just so awesome. And I think when you've got a vehicle that you're comfortable driving and you feel safe taking it out into the hills or taking it on a road trip, that peace of mind goes a long ways, in my opinion. And that's why I think if you're looking at engine swaps, if you clicked on this video because you like LS swaps, or you clicked on it because you think I was stupid for putting an LS in it, or if you clicked on this video because you're thinking you might put an LS swap in yours, I like it. I really do like it, and I do think it's an excellent option for someone that's wanting to pick up some horsepower. Obviously, you're gonna pick up some fuel efficiency because the 2F doesn't do too well, and you're gonna pick up some friends because people love to ask you about your LS swap Land Cruiser, at least online. Nobody really cares in real life, but that's just kind of a little bit more about the LS swap. At the end of this, I'll add a few more clips of it revving up so you have an idea of exactly what it sounds like. And like I said, this is episode 2 of the series that I'm filming on this Land Cruiser, because obviously I'll flash it up again. It used to look like this. My first video I posted a few days ago on the series, I'm showing you exactly how I cut the back half off of a parts Land Cruiser and stitch welded it on this thing, which makes the LS swap look like a walk in the park, a super easy job. But yeah, I appreciate you watching this video, and feel free to like and subscribe, or drop a comment if you want to learn a little bit more about this, or let me know if you wanted me to do like a full in-depth video on the LS swap, because I know I like to read forums, but they don't quite do the job of a YouTube video, and I'm not going to be able to go through every single little detail of the swap, but I'll be able to give you a really good idea of some of the issues you might run into, some of the things that I did wrong that you can avoid, some of the things that I thought were a super big deal that really weren't that bad of a task. So yeah, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. Stay tuned for episode 3, where I show you how I did all the body and paint myself in an inflatable paint booth with the help of my dad. And yeah, check out these couple clips of it revving out so you get a little better idea of just how awesome it is.